psychologists provide a variety of services, including support, consultations, and strategies for personal success. They often engage with students to develop critical academic and social emotional skills. This year, School Psychology Awareness Week, or SPA, is November 11th through 15th, 2019, and we're going to be promoting the importance of school psychologists. I'm here with Laura Early, CCPS Coordinator for Psychological Services, and school psychologist Shayna Little to share information about this upcoming week. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So in our schools, we have so many people that support schools. We have school psychologists and social workers and professional school counselors. What is the difference in those things? I'm assuming there is one.
Right. So school psychologists are a member of the student support team. So there are also school counselors, school social workers, school nurses, and we all work together to create safe, healthy, nurturing environments for students.
So for you as school psychologist, Shayna, what would be a typical day?
Well, and we could define typical many ways, but we all work at different levels, elementary, middle, and high. So typically a day would consist of doing assessments to help find students eligible for special education. We serve on multiple problem-solving teams for academic purposes as well as behavioral purposes. We do a lot of consultation, which could be formal or it could be on the fly, walking through the hallway with the teacher kind of popping in to ask us a question. And then we work with critical incidents in crisis. So if a child makes a threat against themselves or someone else, we work really closely with the counselors to help them get to a safe space and how to figure out what the next steps are for the students in that role.
So that sounds really interesting and very busy.
Yeah.
But so you're really supporting our students and their families.
Yes.
So what are some of the current issues that you see our families and students facing?
So currently, I'm dealing a lot with students who are struggling with anxiety and depression. Those are kind of the two biggest ones that I'm currently working in both of my school buildings. We also do a lot of behavioral management, so such as interventions and just anger management, because that looks differently in children at the elementary level than at the high school level. At the elementary school I'm at, we're actually doing the school-wide programs, Caring Schools Community, and that's a social emotional learning program where every day they have a class meeting and they do a check-in, check-out type of system where the teachers and the children really build that relationship so that they can feel more comfortable in their learning environment. And at the high school level and at the middle school level, we're doing a prevention program called Signs of Suicide, where we give lessons to students about suicide, and we talk about symptoms of depression and how we can recognize those and how we can seek help for our peers.
That's a huge support for all of our students,
Yes.
so regardless of what issues are that they may or may not be facing. So Laura, so that's a lot that we do that
Yes.
supports students and ultimately their families. What else do school psychologists do to support the work of teachers and administrators?
Well, school psychologists are here for everyone, for our students, for our parents, for teachers, administrators, and we have a myriad of training that lends to that. So we have training in mental health as well as education and behavioral support. So we use all of those skills to help our students thrive. Many people know that school psychologists perform and conduct psychological assessments. However, we have actually 10 domains of practice, and so those range from things like teacher consultation to behavioral support to program evaluation to data collection. So there really are very many skills that are sometimes underutilized by school psychologists and the communities that they serve.
So wow, you guys really have a huge role in the schools where you serve, doing lots of things for lots of people and being super supportive, which leads us kind of to this next thing. We're going to be celebrating SPA coming up soon,
Yes.
which is School Psychologist Awareness Week. Can you tell me a little bit about what you have planned for that?
Absolutely. So we're really excited about SPA. It is an awareness week for us. Many people don't know exactly what school psychologists do, and it's an opportunity for us to raise awareness about the profession and also mental health. And so the Department of Health and Human Services recently indicated that 1 in 5 students suffers from a mental health issue during their school career. And so we want to raise awareness about that. Many times those students don't have access to services. So only about 40% of students actually access mental health services. And out of the 40% that do, 2/3 of them do that through the school. So we feel that we're well positioned to provide those services along with our colleagues, our school social workers and school counselors.
kind of in a place where kids already are coming every day anyway.
Absolutely.
So this sounds like a fascinating career. I mean, full of so many different things. How do you become a school psychologist? If I'm interested, what would I need to do?
That's a great question. And actually, the career prospects are very good. We have a national shortage of school psychologists currently. It does require an investment of time and a willingness to be an infinite learner, because you can never really know everything in this profession. You could investigate by going to our National Association of School Psychologists website, which is nasponline.org. They have some great information there, but the most important thing is to know that you would need to invest in either an educational specialist or a doctoral level program, 60 to 90 hours of graduate credits, and an internship. And I encourage students that ask about school psychology to maybe ask about shadowing a school psychologist or interviewing a school psychologist to learn more. That's a great way to learn more, and then to make sure that they investigate NASP approved program, which again is our national organization. So in Virginia, we have those programs at George Mason, William and Mary, Radford University, JMU, and at UVA.
Well, what a fantastic opportunity to give back. So this is my favorite question that I like to end these with. And so I'm going to ask you both, what is your most favorite thing about your job?
My favorite thing about being a psychologist in the schools is just the advocacy piece, being a part of the journey to see kids reach milestones and make success when we thought that maybe there were some barriers or some things preventing them. So just kind of being a part of seeing them come up to me and be like, Miss Little, I finally did this. And it's always such an exciting time for me to be a part of that and to just watch that. So really advocating for students and just being a part of their journey to make sure that they're successful and thrive throughout their education.
Oh, and that's a lot too. So what about you, Laura?
Well, I was a school psychologist for 23 years before coming into this role, and it's just been a wonderful, very rewarding career. And now I have the opportunity to lead a group of school psychologists, and our school psychologists in Chesterfield are phenomenal. They have so many different areas of expertise, which is wonderful because, again, you can't know everything in this profession. So we rely on one another and support one another, and I love advocating for them. We were actually just able to speak recently at the General Assembly to advocate for mental health with students, and I know in doing that part that I'm really advocating for students, and I just feel great that we're able to make a real difference in our students' lives.
Well, and you guys absolutely do make a difference in the lives of our students, their families, our schools. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing today, and for everything that you do for our school division. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us on Engage Chesterfield.